about John chapter 6 is that primarily Jesus is talking about the priority of believing in him. He does this through a metaphor of talking about the bread of life, while also leaving open the door that there is more than just a metaphor here. In light of the context, which talks about the Passover and the manna, and we see overtones of the crossing of the Red Sea, we see this new Exodus, the talk of the bread of heaven, the Passover lamb which would have been eaten. Well, I think John has framed this in such a way to give light to the later idea of the Eucharist, and that perhaps Jesus is speaking here in a way that is foreshadowing what people will learn in the future. However, to hang all of our Eucharistic or sacramental theology on this text seems to be a bit of a stretch, given the fact of the timeline, given the fact that the Lord's Supper hasn't been instituted, and given the fact that John never even tells us about the institution of the Lord's Supper and the New Covenant in that way that we see in the Synoptics. So, Austin, what do you believe about the Eucharist? Well, still figuring it out. I have a lot of questions. I grew up with the interpretation that it is merely metaphorical, that all we are doing is remembering Jesus, and it doesn't really matter how often we do it. We did it about once every 6 weeks. I sympathize with that view. I think the burden of proof is a little heavy on that view. On that view, you have to argue against nearly 1,500 years of church history, as well as what seems to be some fairly strong language by Jesus here in John chapter 6. As far as the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist, I think there's something going on there. I think there's more I need to investigate. Do I think we can overstate it? Do I think we can overdefine it? Do I think it's been sometimes used in such a way to diminish the importance of belief, which Jesus clearly saw as important here? I do. Do I have a lot of questions? Yes. Am I currently reading books on this? Yes, and I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Brant Pitre's book, which has really helped me as I formulate my thoughts on this. So, I ask for your grace, your patience as I sort through this idea. I have lots of questions. Feel free to ask me questions in the description. I'll probably give you unsatisfying answers because my thoughts are developing. But I think at the very least, it's not improbable that there is some type of presence of Christ in the Eucharist. How does that work? I have no idea, and I'm working on it. Well, thank you guys so much. This was a long video, a really long video, and if you watch this whole thing, shout out to you. You win. Congratulations. I feel like I should send you a cookie or something. And congrats. Thank you so much. In any case, really, just thank you for watching this. If you're interested in this channel and what we're doing here, we're passionate about